Right, here we go. I'm here with Satchel of Steel Panther. Thank you for coming onto the channel today. Um,
It's my pleasure.
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, I was thinking last time I saw you was in the flesh, but early 2020, and we jammed into the pit together in Bristol, which I want to thank you for. That was really, really cool.
Into the pit. Yeah. Into the pit. Into the pit. What's this song? Into the pit.
That was very fun. I remember that. It was awesome.
It was a good day, yeah. So I just wanted to go into how you're dealing with all this stuff. How has this whole COVID thing been going for you? Are you still rocking away? I know you've been doing some live streams and things, live concerts, which is really cool. But yeah, how's it been treating you the whole?
Well, COVID has sucked for everybody. Obviously, this whole thing is horrible. It's horrible, but I think it's probably pretty obvious that for people like musicians, it's sucked more than a lot. I mean, it sucks for the people that die the most, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's that's just, unfortunately, that's part of the world that we live in.
Yeah, that's it.
There are diseases that kill people.
Yeah,
that sucks. But it also really sucks to when the government shuts everything down completely, and you're at the whim of politicians. Because basically, our industry, music industry, is done until people deem it okay to do that again, which is, it sucks for musicians, and it sucks for fans, but it really sucks more for the musicians because, a lot of people make their living in the music business, and all these major venues are gone. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel bad for Live Nation, and I don't feel bad for, the dude who's a billionaire who owns Live Nation. He's going to get by.
Yeah, exactly.
But the roadies and the people that work at the venues, and pretty much all musicians at this point, like, unless you're, Dave Matthews and people like that who are out there going, stay in your house. Those guys are all millionaires because they made a lot of money during, a time when you could sell records and do all that stuff. But everybody who's a musician now who is a relatively new artist, in the last 20 years, I mean, like most of them, besides, Britney Spears and Justin Bieber, are touring musicians, and they go out and make money by rocking or doing whatever. When the venues are closed and they're going to be closed indefinitely, that means that you have to do something else. And, most people don't know how to do anything else because we're musicians. We're not very smart.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think quality of life needs to be given some thought as well, because I mean, there hasn't been a lot of thought that's went into mental health and all these other things during this time. And I think, we need some more rocking going on, and some more happiness, and some more unity. And I'm glad you've been kind of doing these virtual shows and stuff just to give the fans a feel of what was, and hopefully will be again, if we all, get back to that place and, try and bring that whole thing back,
Yeah, we tried to do a virtual show this last weekend, and we ended up canceling that as well. It's ironic because the only fucking reason we're doing virtual shows is because we can't do live shows, right?
Exactly, yeah.
We plan these virtual shows, and then all of a sudden, California goes into full lockdown mode. Nobody leave your house. It's too dangerous to leave your house. People, don't leave your fucking house. You're gonna die. I mean, there's literally how crazy. Like, hey mom, I'm gonna go run to the market. Do you need any milk? Like fucking.
Yeah.
You're going to the market. You get your house, you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I know. There's so much hysteria.
But we canceled our live stream this last weekend because, well, to be honest with you, it was like we were talking about it as a band, and we were like, well, gosh, we could just do it. But then there were people on our own crew that were like, I don't know if we should do it. It's like, you know, I don't want to catch anything. And it was really only going to be about 10 people there, you know, running so it's not really super dangerous, but and then we thought, well, gosh, if we do it and our fans know that we did it and LA's locked down, there's going to be a certain amount of our fans that are like, fuck you guys. You guys are shit. You're killing people. And, you know, so we ended up canceling it, but I feel like we probably shouldn't have canceled it because it's like, you know, we need to make a living too. And we also need to like continue to try to do what we do and entertain people. And there's always going to be somebody, there's always going to be a group of people out there that is like, you're a fucking asshole because you left your house.
Yeah.
And by leaving your house, you're risking spreading the disease and you are killing everyone. And to those people, I say, well, you should stay in your house and let the rest of us go out of our fucking house. But the government should. You're afraid of catching it.
Yeah.
By all means, stay inside your house. But other people should be allowed to live their fucking lives. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I think
the word pussy melter, then don't fucking buy the pedal, right? Don't buy the pedal.
Yeah.
But if you love to melt pussies, buy the fucking pedal.
That's it. Buy the pedal, guys. Come on. I think that's the way people have got to be, and we got to live our lives and try and enjoy. You know, be careful. You know, but don't completely shut down your whole lives, you know, and kind of live in fear, because there's always been illness, always been viruses, and, you know, we got to have some common sense as well, and not just totally, you know, go crazy at this time. You know? So yeah, keep supporting you know, Steel Panther when they're doing all these shows and stuff, because it's great, you know, that somebody is trying to carry on and, you know, keep things going, you know, and keep things rolling. But yeah, on to the next one. There's a few things I wanted to touch on, but I'll go straight to Heavy Metal Rules album. I just wanted to know a little bit about your whole thought process for that album, and you know, where you were coming from, because it is such an amazing album. And I think the good thing is each album you do, you have that real heavy metal kind of powerful sound, and you know, it's never a letdown. So what was it this time you were kind of trying to say and trying to, you know, put out there for the fans?
Well, you know, every time we do a record, I always, I personally feel like, you know, it's, you know, we don't put out records to make money, because a lot of people, you know, that part of the business has been gone for a while. Like, people don't make money on records anymore. Even big stars don't make money on records. So it's not about selling a bunch of records, obviously. It's just about doing stuff that you feel you dig. So every time we release a record, we all have to dig it as a band. And really, you know, do a record is, to me, just a group of songs that come from that time period that and for me, like, every time we finish a record, I end up you know, it always feels like a very daunting thing to like start writing another record, because, you know, you can't really think about like writing a whole record at once. You just got to write one song at a time, because that's all you can do is focus on one song at a time. It's kind of like the old question: how do you eat an elephant? You know, one bite.
Exactly.
You know, and I just, every time we finish a record, I've always got songs that I haven't finished that are laying around, and I always like start to write new stuff. And really, I just like write a lot. So I'll start writing songs that I think are cool. Actually, I'll tell you something. One of the ways that record started, what we were thinking about what we should do next, and we were throwing ideas out there. And I thought it would be really cool if we all did solo albums, right?
Wow.
Solo albums, you know, just like Kiss, right? Like Kiss did their solo, and we'll have our faces on the solo albums. And I thought it would be cool, but, you know, I started to write Lexi's solo album, because obviously he's not going to write it, right?
No.
And the first idea that came to mind was, well, what would be a great song for Lexi Fox to sing? And then I was like, oh my God, I came up with All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight, because that was really going to be Lexi's song, like Lexi's
Such a good
solo
one,
album. And it was so perfect for Lexi. But then the more songs I started to come up with, like I also had I'm Not Your Bitch, and there was like different songs that were coming out, Sneaky Little Bitch, and like all these different songs. But it soon became that the next do was like it was going to be another Steel Panther record, and I thought, well, All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight. That's something that Michael could sing as well, because he's narcissistic, right? Like he's pretty into himself. So we ended up, you end up getting all these songs and just going, well, what would be a really good record? And to me, we were also talking about how, we've done a lot of records. We've done 5 records now, and the 4 before this were all a little bit longer. They were like 10, 11, 12. Some of them had 14 songs. Like All You Can Eat had like songs on it, and that's just a lot for people to digest. And like even though I look at records like that and I love them. Like All You Can Eat, I think is one of our best records. I love that record. And it's got every song is a song I love, but I feel that way about all of our records, and it's one of those things where we talked about it. Like this time it was like, oh well, maybe we should do an album that doesn't have 14 songs on it. Maybe 9 or 10 songs is cool. That way, it's short enough so that people can digest it, and it's not too much. Let's face it, the more time goes on, the shorter people's attention spans are. And but I also feel like there's a mix. Like we're always trying to get new fans, which is not easy in this day and age because there's so much going on. But we also want to satisfy people that love us already, like, and older people like me. Like I love albums. I love to put it on and listen to 14 songs, especially if it's a band that I dig. But we sort of like, went in the middle there, and we did like, 9 full tracks and an intro track. But actually, if you think about our new record, it was it's almost as long as Lower the Bar, and most of our albums are somewhere around 40 minutes, and this one was maybe like 37, 38 minutes or something like that. So it's for me, it's like it's just about getting songs that I feel all are good and that go well together. Like I almost always end up writing a ballad at the very end of the recording process. Like, and this time it was I Ain't Buying What You're Selling. And those things almost always come out really quickly. I think I had just set up my home studio, and I know what it was. I got to a point where I couldn't record anymore because my computer was so old, and wasn't. I had to buy a new computer, and then when I bought the new computer, like all the other gear that I had with it didn't work, so I had to buy a new audio converter and all these other things. And finally, for like a week, and the first thing I picked up was the acoustic guitar, and I wrote I Ain't Buying What You're Selling, and it came out. It was so good. I was like, oh, it's got to go on the record. So, and but that's always the process. Like I end up getting like 7 or 8 songs, and then I end up going, well, I've got a mid-tempo song, I got a faster song. This is what I need to like make it a complete record. And sometimes it's hard to do because you towards the end of it, you got to go, well, I really need a song that's like this or like that, and of course, the more records you have as a band, the more you go, well, gosh, I can't write Asian Hooker again. I can't write Gang Bang at the Old Folks Home again. I got to sort of go in some different directions, and with Steel Panther, it's difficult and it's easy at the same time because unlike a lot of bands, I can write almost anything I want that's dirty. Like we're funny, and people who are in serious bands, they can't. They're like, oh well, what's the radio gonna say, and what's my record company gonna say? And I'm just like, fuck everybody. I'll write whatever the fuck I want, right? So
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's got to be the best way. I mean, I like that you're real to what you want to sing about and stuff. You're not really trying to cater to anything. You're just doing what you enjoy and doing what you write, and it's a great way to be, because I think you know, a lot of, I mean, you're keeping that kind of classic metal sound alive too. I think if you were too serious about, what you were doing right now, it wouldn't work this day and age. I think just the slight humor element brings such a kind of new audience and makes people, really come and find it and listen to it. And then when they hear how good a players you are, it kind of it all comes together, and it's, I think it's good. You're not one of these big egotistic bands which think they're amazing because they've wrote a few good hits or whatever. You're just kind of down to earth with the fans, and you kind of just do what you want to do. And I think that's probably, the best way to be, I think, for what
well,
you do.
I agree with you, Matt, and I appreciate that. And it's very difficult to be an artist, right, at any point in time, but especially now because artists are it's just so hard to make a living at it. So in order to write songs and create music, like you really have to be driven by your love for music and your love for your passion for creating stuff. And it is a good, I've always felt like, even like 25 years ago when you could really like make millions of dollars selling records, I always felt like it was a difficult thing to be an artist because a lot of people got swayed by wanting to make a lot of money, so you end up selling out, what they call it, right? And,
Yeah.
music that everybody will like, or that the record company will like, or whatever. And at least now, I think we're at a point where most artists, if they haven't realized it already, they're probably starting to realize you're not going to make a lot of money as a band. You're not going to certainly not going to make a lot of money as a songwriter, especially if it's your own art, right? So because nobody wants to pay for it. So but that it's a double-edged sword. You can still make some money by touring and busting your ass, but as a songwriter, it really kind of puts the focus on, well, why would I try to write songs that are going to sell money when nobody's going to buy them anyway? So I might as well just write songs that I like, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be anyway. It should
Definitely,
be,
yeah.
Art is like the best songs out there are the ones that sound genuine, and they don't sound like they were contrived or written to try to satisfy the most people. It's just stuff that somebody went, oh, this is bitchin', I'm gonna.
That's it. Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I just want to keep writing songs that I go, yeah, I like this song, and I know that if I like it, that my band will like it, and that a lot of Steel Panther fans will like it, right? So
yeah, no, I think a lot can be said for that and for being real. I mean, I've noticed people are very much drawn to anything that's as real as possible, and like nothing kind of fake now. I make music, but I do it mainly online, and you're right, it is like a big struggle because no one wants to buy anything these days. They just expect everything free. And I don't think they have a lot of attention span these days. I've actually been doing like short videos on YouTube, and they've got this new short video feature, and you get like a couple of 100,000 views if you put on dog catches something or whatever, and that's because the clip's about 15 seconds long or whatever. I think people seem to be drawn to that very quick thing, so you've got to kind of try and catch people's interest in short amounts of time, and then hopefully they go and then check out full songs or full whatever it may be. And yeah, it's quite a hard time at the moment. I don't know, do you have any thoughts of how anyone starting out should go about it these days, because we're in such a weird place with it all?
Like how does a new artist start? I wouldn't know what to tell a new artist except this. Like I already mentioned, if you're a new artist and you love music, don't let the music industry or how depressing it is stop you from doing it. Because yes, it's not an easy time to be a musician, but you have to, it's always been tough to be a musician. So I feel like if if you really, really love music, you really, 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 really love music, you will just do it. Because everybody that I know that's a musician who loves it, they just do it because they love it and they can't stop doing it. It's like a drug addiction, right? So you just keep doing it and you keep developing. And you know, I'm an old dude. I mean, I've been playing my whole life, and I wrote songs for literally decades before anybody. Right. I used to just play them for people in my car, and force my friends to listen to them. And I wrote hundreds of songs, and it wasn't until Steel Panther actually started having some success that okay, well, this is great because I finally had a vehicle for my own songwriting, right? So, and which was great for me because it gave me an outlet, and it also gave me an outlet for my songwriting and my personality as well. Because all of the Steel, it's all my own bitter sense of humor, like that I get to use to write songs, and it's so much fun, and it's so I mean, but I think that's also the thing that like new artists should try to do. Like that's something that you do as over time, you write as much as you can and continue to develop, as a musician, and then try to play with as many people as you can, because playing with people, that's making music. That's, you jam with people and you have fun. And when I met the guys in my band, we didn't realize it until we stepped on stage. And when we stepped on stage, the first show we stepped on stage, we realized, well, oh my gosh, we've got something special. We've got what's known as a chemistry, right? Like, and when you can find that with other people, then it can be really, really great. And you need to nurture it. And so if you can have, as a songwriter, for me, that was like, oh, I've got these songs, I've got this ability to write songs, and now I've got this band with this chemistry. Let's see if we can put the two together and also try to not break up. Like, because, let's face it, you get all these bands like over the years that, oh my God, Van Halen, they're the greatest band in the world. Oh, they're gone. You know what I mean? Like, bands break up.
Yeah.
After fucking years. It's like, dude, you're just starting out. You've been together 6 years, and fucking people break up. It's like, and a lot of times they break up for stupid reasons. Like, man, the fucking singer fucked my girlfriend. Like, so what? Get over it.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. No, that was really well said. I think, and like you say, you've got to really have that passion for it. And, I don't think you can stop. So, yeah, just keep evolving, like you say. And that's really good advice there. I don't want to keep you too long now, but I've got a couple of questions if you've still got a bit of time. I don't know if you have. Is that all right? I just wanted to touch on the fight stuff a little bit, because I love fight, as you know. So I just wanted to ask about, do you have any like unheard stories or cool memories from those fight days? And how was that whole thing for you?
Dude, let me tell you, I was a very young man when I joined that band. I was 20 or something, 20. And it was a really, really great learning experience for me. Because, I remember being in that band and thinking, my God, Halford, greatest heavy metal singer on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And God, he's so old. Like, I thought he was old at 40. He was like 42. I think I was like 20 or 20.
Yeah.
And but he still sings great, even at like almost 70, right? And he's so it was a great learning experience for me, because that was his band, and I got to like contribute to some degree, but it was also set up to be his band. So for me, even though I had a great time, playing, with those guys, like Scott Travis, amazing drummer. The other guys were super cool, Brian Tills and JJ Brown.
Yeah.
And they're both great, super great guys. And we had a lot of fun because those guys were young too. Well, not Scott, but the other guys. And Scott's a little bit older than me. Scott's a fucking one of the best fucking drummers
Yeah.
to walk the face of the earth, though. Like, really,
Yeah.
I don't know that many drummers who are as good as that guy. And not only is he solid, but he also hits hard. Like, a lot of dudes who have really great technique like that, who are, you know, who are fast and can, you know, play double kick drum like that. They very hard. They tap really light. But Scott Travis, he's a beast. He hits the drums.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's also like 6'7". I don't know if you've ever seen the guy, but
Yeah. I know, I've met him. It's like literally just looking at. I'm quite small, so it's just like, you know, like a basketball player or something. I was like, it's like just huge.
Towers over me, right? Because I'm like
Yeah.
5, like 6'7". I remember one time. I'll tell you a funny story. One time he got me going so good because Scott, fucking, like, I don't know what it is about him. He's like my brother. Like, he could get me so fucking mad. Like, he used to push my buttons and just fucking get me angry. I remember one time we were on the tour bus, and he was like just pushing my buttons so fucking much that I was like, all right, let's fucking go right now. Dude, what do you want? I was like, let's go. We're going outside. I'm going to fucking beat your fucking ass. He's like, shut up. I was like, let's fucking go. I'm going to kick your fucking ass right fucking now, motherfucker. And he was just looking at me like he couldn't wrap his head around why a little guy like me wanted to beat up a big guy like him.
Yeah. I know.
I had lost my shit. I literally wanted to kill him.
Really?
But he stayed calm and he just sat there. He didn't get up. So
crazy. Yeah, no, that's a really good story. I know. I think I've noticed he's got quite a like dry, sarcastic wit, if I'm right, and he's quite like, from what I've gathered anyway.
I fucking love him. He can drive me crazy at times, but he's a great guy. Rob's a great guy too. Rob's fucking super fucking cool, easy to hang out with.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, obviously he's an insanely gifted singer. I really do think that Halford, as far as I mean, listen, Michael Starr, probably the greatest, like one of the best front guys on the planet for sure.
He's definitely out there with him. Yeah, no,
but I think Halford's voice, like, especially like in his prime, like back in the day, his ability to like, I mean, you listen to like Sad Wings of Destiny, right? Like,
yeah,
stuff like Dreamer Deceiver. Like, listen to his vocals in his lower register.
Yeah,
and, dude, I mean, everybody's impressed with the high stuff he did, but his singing, like in his all of his range, his vibrato, he would never hit a bad note. The guy was unbelievable. One of the most amazing singers ever. So there's all the success he's had. So
yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. He's definitely just an insane like vocal range, and kind of you know, I particularly like those 82 shows, the Vengeance and all that. They're like proper full on metal kind of thing. But the fight stuff I think you brought a whole different element, and without, like you say, such young musicians around him, I think that helped bring that young power kind of, you know, the powerful sound. And without that, I mean, a lot could be said. That band is just incredible, really. The fight band, you know, I know JJ's aching to reunite and do some shows, I think. And like, you know, he particularly likes that fight period, and he talks about that a lot. And, you know, I think it was such a great time, you know, it was a great thing that happened. And even though it's quite a short time.
It was a lot of fun, and it was very aggressive, and it was very cathartic to like be on stage. And dude, I mean, like, when I think back to it, like, you know, it was the touring that we did. There was some mosh pits.
Oh right, yeah.
Mosh pits. I mean, I think I lost a lot of my hearing. It was so fucking loud, but it was awesome. Some great shit. And dude, every night, man, Rob would fucking bring it. He would sound great, and it was great. We always had fun playing. And I told Rob, man, like, we saw, you know, I've seen him several times over the last few years, and I keep telling him, dude, I'm ready. I want to do another fight record. I'm fucking ready. Bring it on. I think I sent him a bunch of ideas too, because I was like, I got all these fucking cool riffs that I'm probably not going to use with Steel Panther because they're just too dark, and
Yeah.
and I'm like, it would sound so cool to have Rob sing on this shit. So busy with Priest, so.
Yeah, no, I'm praying it happens. It will be really cool if it does, because I think I was just happy to do our little jam just for like 2 minutes. It was great to bring Fight back just for like just a couple of minutes and kind of hear you play those chords again. And, and it's really, I hope it all happens, it's gonna be cool. Right, I'm going to do quick fire questions now, just not to keep you too long, just so I can get some quick answers to see what springs to mind. I've got favorite fight solo to play.
Oh, my favorite fight solo to play. I can tell you one of my favorite fight solos was For All Eternity.
No, I love that song. Yeah,
I thought that solo was one of the best solos that I did on that record. Contortion was a really cool solo. But I really worked hard on that record to I really wanted to put some fucking cool lead guitar on there because, it was a cool opportunity to be on a record with Halford.
yeah.
But I liked most of my solos on that record. Into the Pit was a cool solo. Nailed to the Gun was a cool solo.
Yeah. No, they're brilliant.
Cool. I mean, I look back at that because I was young when I played them. I was like 20 or 21 years old, and I was on fire. I played really good.
Definitely. No, you had a lot of skill. It was incredible. You added that emotion and stuff that was needed, like you say, on For All Eternity and Immortal Sin and all that. You had like a lot of emotion as well as like the very heavy things, which I think Rob and Priest have always been about as well. That emotion as well. So yeah, no, you did well with that. I also want to know favorite pizza topping.
Well, it's going to sound cliche, but pepperoni would be my favorite. If I have to pick a favorite, sausage is close second though. I like sausage as well. I just go for the meat lovers pizza. Throw anything that used to be alive on there.
That's good. Yeah. Right. Worst gig memory.
Over the course of being a musician over years, there's so many bad gig memories, like where shit went really wrong. I can remember going on stage and nobody could hear anything. Like I couldn't hear the rest of the band. I couldn't hear my own guitar. I could barely hear the drums, and the drums are like right behind me. But it was shit like that. That's never fun because you're trying to get the sound together while you're performing, and it's probably sounds bad, but that's part of being a musician too. You just gotta go. Well, it's probably gonna sound like shit for me, but I have to pretend like it sounds good for the audience out there because everybody's just wants to have fun, right?
Yeah. No, I totally get you there because it is. Yeah, I think I've had a couple of times where I literally couldn't hear myself singing when I was on stage, and it is just horrible experience because you want it, you're hoping it's coming out right, but you just don't know, kind of thing. But I'll end it on. Do you have any guilty pleasure pop songs? I know you're all about death to all but metal, but do you have any secret guilty pleasures?
I can't think of one off the top of my head that is like pop.
No.
It's like older shit. There's probably like older stuff from the 70s. There's pop from the 70s and the 60s that I was like, let's Happy Together by the Turtles. That was a pop song.
Yeah, right.
See me loving nobody but
you. Of course, yeah.
So, and that's a great fucking song, right? It's an amazing song. Yeah. And by the way, the guy who sang that, right? The guy who sang that went on to play with Frank Zappa.
Did he? Wow, that's crazy.
And he did all kinds of shit with Frank Zappa. I love Frank Zappa, and you could probably hear it if you listen to Steel Panther and you go and listen to some Frank Zappa. Obviously, Frank Zappa he sang about sex quite a bit. He's been more of an influence on me than like Frank Zappa was one of those guys who influenced me, and I didn't even realize it, you know?
Yeah.
He pretty much did whatever he wanted to do. And then, you know, for me, like being in Steel Panther, it was like, oh, okay, well, this is cool. Like, even though I have certain, you know, a paradigm within what I write, it's cool to have that spirit that Frank Zappa had, where it's like, oh, I can just fucking do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know, he had his own record company.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Great answer there. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So just thanks for coming on the channel. And yeah, it's great to hear a little bit more behind the scenes stuff there.
I appreciate
Metal Matt, okay. This is what Steel Panther would look like if Metal Matt was our singer.
And let me just say, I don't know if this has ever been done acoustic.
I think it's more pussy, right?
Like, Pipe was a pretty fucking heavy band, and they had a great guitar player.
Are you playing Tetris right now?
Great. Get the fuck out of here. I'll tell you what, if you were bald, it would have been just like being next to Rob Halford.
Dude, I manage Metal Matt now, so if you guys want him for your band, call me.